welcome to Sima Can Help. My name is Sima and welcome. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for tuning in, watching the video. I appreciate your support. I'm really sorry I have not been posting consistently. However, I promise you that I'm working on it. It's a lot of things going on, in my life right now. Good things, not bad things necessarily. However, I've been very busy, with work, clients, crisis here and there. With clients, it's social workers, what the job entails, but I love doing what I do. I would not change my career for anything. I love helping people. I enjoy seeing people from not doing too well or having challenges to finally learning to cope with their challenges, or learn coping skills to deal with their challenges and life stresses. Please comment below. Ask any questions. Your questions, I really use your questions to come up with ideas as to what video to post next and so on and so forth. So we are ending May, and we all know what May is, which is Mental Health Month. A way to end this month is to cater to my students, grad students. By when I say my, I don't mean literally my, but I mean students, grad students, social workers. And this video actually, even any student who's in college or grad school can utilize some of these suggestions we give to how to manage grad school. So I'll share one little challenge that I faced when I was in college. I don't know, for social workers, typically when you go to social work school, there's a minimum GPA that you need to maintain. When I was in grad school, that was a 3.0 or above. However, and you try your best because you want to stay in the program. You don't want to get kicked out, because that happens too to some, and you really try to avoid that. So in 2014, I was in grad school and I actually failed one class. Oh my God. I remember being so concerned, not at the time I failed, but I remember after. And the reason for this is because in 2014, I lost my father. My father was not in the U.S. He was, he had some health issues, and unfortunately, he didn't make it. He passed, and it was during Ebola. I don't know if you guys remember. It was during this Ebola time, so traveling was a challenge, and things were like, it was just crazy. He was sick for a few years, and he did, his best, and unfortunately, he didn't make it. But long story short, I spoke to my teachers. Some knew about it. I didn't want to really talk about it much, but they knew that I was going through something. When he passed, everybody knew, because I was just not myself. I just remember being, it's really, even talking about it causes these emotions to arise again. But anyway, I failed one class because I did very poorly in it. I think we had a final or something. I did not study, and I just couldn't. I remember not caring when I failed. And I only realized that, if this continues, you are going to, you may not make it in social work school. And because I was mourning my father's death and nothing mattered at that time, I just wanted to mourn, and I did my best to go to school. I don't think I was even myself. I felt like I was a zombie, just dragging myself to class. And, some teachers understood, and some, because they knew me already, and I guess they worked with me, and I appreciate that from them. But there was one professor in particular who, she decided to fail me, which I get, it's the rules, and I just didn't meet those requirements, I guess, and I failed. But the point of this is that you are going to face challenges when in grad school. It could be as bad as what I went through, or maybe less, but you will face challenges. The most important thing is not the challenge itself. Is how you handle it, and how you move forward, and how you move past it. So I really didn't even think. I thought that was it. I'm definitely not going to make my GPA. It's not like getting a D or C, or I actually failed this class. How am I going to so I spoke to the professors. They were willing to work with me, and I went to speak to the the director of the program. And listen, long story short, I was able to graduate with actually a higher GPA than a 3.0. So actually higher than a 3.5, I think. Now, let's talk about mental health. Mental health is a big thing, and it's very important during grad school. And because when you get stressed, if you don't learn to cope with it, it can, really affect you in a not a good way. So one thing that I really had was support. Now I had friends, not necessarily families, but I had friends and like professors and former supervisors. They were very supportive. I could go to anybody and talk, and they say, Sima, you've been through worse and you could do it. You could do it. They were cheering me on, and I really appreciate that. And that's what got me through it. I have a brother who was there for me, like you name it, especially financially. He supported me, and I appreciate him. I love him to death. The point of this is utilize your support system, professors, friends, family, anyone that you have there that can be of a support. Please do not hesitate to accept and utilize those support systems whenever you need it. You are going to face challenges. It could be in your internship in class. Talk to your professors if you have any challenges. Talk to your professors. They will work with you. They're human beings. Trust me. You'll be surprised at what experiences or what challenges they've faced themselves. So talk to them. One more thing that I would add is if you can get therapy while you're in grad school, if you get a good therapist that you could work with, please go ahead and do that. Get a therapist that will work with you, that will listen to you, someone who's not a family member, and you don't have to worry about your personal information being out there, because I know that's a concern for some. And just use your support system. Talk to your professors. Nothing is the end of the world. Anything can be worked out. Something can be done. And just remember that this is not the end of the world. You can do this, and you will do this. You will accomplish this. You will have your degree, and you could email me and let me know, yes, Miss Sima, we did it. I am a grad student, or I have just completed my graduate school. I'm going for my license. Let's not delay it any further. Here is my interview with LaTanya Harris. She's an undergrad social worker. She's starting her graduate school as a social worker, seeking her MSW in the fall. And she has very informative information for students and grad students for you on how to navigate school, grad school or undergrad school. So stay tuned. Here she comes. The first question I'd like to ask you is, what led you to choose social work as a career?
I'm not gonna get into too much detail, but my childhood, my upbringing kind of like led me in the field of like social work. I mean, it was times, where I experienced things in my childhood, and at first I didn't know like what career path I wanted to take into like high school. So like one of the college recruiter came to our school and kind of was giving us information, and she basically told her story and how she became like a social worker. So that's kind of like gave me motivation to like want to become a social worker. So I would say like from childhood upbringing, some of the things I experienced what led me to wanting to become a social worker.
Okay. And now you completed your bachelor's in social work, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're about to start your master's in the fall, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So usually when you finish your bachelor's, you have an option to choose whichever way you want to go. You could even choose a different degree, but you're still stuck with social work. Why that?
Why I start with social work is because I usually don't talk about this. Why I was like getting my bachelor's degree, it was like some things like I went through, like some challenging things I went through, and I know like within the field of like social work, as a social worker, we're gonna have like challenging experience within the career. So that's why I kind of like stuck like with social work, because I know if I was able to take on that challenge, then within the field of social work, I'm able to take on any challenge. Not saying it like and I don't know how to say it, but just not saying it in a positive way. But I know like with every career field is gonna be challenged, but I just passion and having soul for social work is kind of like why I continue to major in social work, because of like my passion and my determination, and some challenges I experienced along the way what led me to continue within the career field.
Okay, so that's interesting that you're bringing that up, because we are in mental health month, we're ending the month. So I think this is a perfect opportunity to discuss those. So interesting enough, you said that you had challenges while doing working on your bachelor's. Can you explain? You don't have to say much. One or two ex- challenges that you faced when you during undergrad school.
Okay, like okay, one challenge, I'm trying not to get emotional, that I faced like while I was pursuing my bachelor's degree. I was at a stage, it was like my summer semester in college, pursuing my bachelor's degree. I had some family issues where it kind of led to me on the verge of being homeless. Like, of course, like my brother was able to assist me, but it was like days where I was staying like in the extended stay hotel was like the following week, like I didn't like know like, financially how I would have the money to like pay for the room like the following week, or how I would have like food to manage, like from a month to month basis. But I still had like confidence and like motivation, like, I'm gonna like get my degree. And yeah, so I mean, that was one of the challenging thing I went through, and it's kind of like I lost my transportation, so it was kind of like, I was thinking in my head, even if I have to like become like, homeless, I'm still gonna get my degree no matter what. So that was like a challenging time I experienced while getting my degree.
That speaks a lot about the level of resilience that you have, because it takes a lot of resilience to be able to face those challenges. That's pretty tough. But thanks for sharing. I appreciate that. Um,
Yes, ma'am.
and so basically, the way you manage it was to the fact that you were seeking your degree, and you're like, no matter what, as long as I get this degree, the degree that you're seeking. That was basically what kept on pushing you to keep on going, and you finally
Yes, ma'am.
you obtained the degree. So what would you say to, let me say, undergrad social work students who are facing different challenges? It may not be the same as you, it may be like you, or maybe even worse. We don't know. How would you say they should address these situations or challenges? Like, how do you think they can manage it? What would you say they should do?
One advice I would give to any undergrad students who, maybe going through the same situation or maybe not going through the situation I went through. I mean, for me, I wasn't like talking to anyone like about my problem. I would say, whatever challenge or like whatever problem you're dealing with, they do offer on campus like, counselor to like, help you to give you advice. So my advice would be, if you have like any of those challenges, to talk to someone, to just, vent to or tell your problem to, because it's like, people out there within the college, field that would be more willing to help you than remain in silence like I did, which I finally learned along the way. Like once I started talking to like the counselor from school, like, she gave me great advice, but she also gave me resources along the way that could help me in my situation I was in during the summer. So I would advise, any undergrad student who's, experiencing challenge in life to like just talk to someone who's gonna keep your information confidential.
Okay, so basically seek support of any way you can, whether it's a social work a counselor, whether it's their therapist, someone who can
Yeah.
provide you with that support. You actually answered, I had a question that I was going to ask, which is, are you in a place where you can commit all or most of your resources toward your education, which is, I think, yes for you, because you pretty much just gave it all and just said, I'm just going to go ahead and get this degree no matter what, right?
Yes,
Uh,
ma'am.
okay. So, um, another question I was going to ask, when you went through, social work school, undergrad, did you have support?
I always had at the time, like, me and my mom, we was currently, going through a situation, but I always had my brother who was, a great support system along the way, who I could like call to talk to about my problem. But, you know, I figured like after a time, like he's not gonna constantly want to hear like my situation or like my problem, because he have a family of his own. But along the way, we had like a conversation, and he always told me he would be there for me. So, as of right now, I have a great support system. But, when getting my bachelor's degree, I didn't have a lot of support system other than like my brother. But now I have like my mom, who's, currently helping me like with my son. So I have awesome support system as of right now.
Okay, okay, that's good. I think that's a very important aspect of basically making it through schooling, college, whether undergrad or grad school. Support is very important, and sorry to hear that you didn't have that much during that time, but now you have it. So hopefully, this grad school, journey you're about to take is easier. I mean, it doesn't get easy, but it will be manageable.
Yes,
Um,
ma'am.
so are the sacrifices, your time, the money you spent, would you say it was worth it?
Yes, ma'am. I mean, like with my bachelor's degree, I would think like, okay, when I was able to get a job to get back on my feet, I thought about it like, yeah, we all need like self-care time, but you have to think about it. Okay, it's something you're gonna need, whether it's like books or some pertaining to like college, and like sacrificing your money for your degree is like well worth it because you have to think, okay, going to get my nails did, they're gonna only last maybe a week or 2 weeks or however long. I can take this and spend it on books I need for like my courses or my classes. So I feel like it's worth it because your degree gonna pay off in the future in the long run for you, which like going to do fun activities, it's not only last for the moment where your degree gonna last for a lifetime. So I feel like it's well worth it to
Okay.
sacrifice your time and your money.
Yeah. And if someone is in school, let me say they have challenges, whether with a class, a grade, or they're afraid that you know, first let me ask you, did you have to maintain a certain GPA or certain, I don't know how your school did it. Did you need that? Did you have to maintain 2.0?
Yeah, I mean within the social work, well, well, with my school, it wasn't like a 3.0 GPA, so I would say like, I had to maintain it, but I had like no problem like with maintaining, a certain GPA because I just always took time out to like study or in things that I need, getting the help I need to maintain that GPA.
Okay, so you had to maintain the 3.0 and you didn't have issues maintaining it. So
No, man.
what if somebody who's struggling with maintaining it for whatever reason, they may be going through family situation, relationship issues, or whatever, it could be anything. um how would you say they should handle it if they feel like, I'm about to fail, or panicking, or stressed out for whatever reason? If they have any, academic issues, how would you say they should address it?
My first advice would be, like I said earlier, to seek some type of support first, but also talk to your professor to let them know, like, how hey, I'm currently, going through a situation. You don't have to go into detail about like your current situation you're going through, but kind of like, kind of inform them. You're going through a challenging time, and they'll be able, well, some professor will, work, alongside you or with you to make sure you maintain that certain GPA. But also they can see, help like tutoring, who's, on campus, all the time to help them along the way to maintain that certain GPA as well. But my first advice would be, just to seek help, like, someone to talk to, whether that's a counselor, therapist, or whoever.
Okay, so speak to someone. Great, good. Definitely something that I did as well during undergrad and grad school. So yes, I do. I agree with you on that. You mentioned self-care. Um, is that something you practice, or what kind of self-care did you practice while in school?
Some self care activities I did while I was in school. I used to like going to the park sometimes to just like look at the ducks, like me and a couple friends. Sometimes I would just like journal. It was just a lot of different activity, whether that was like going shopping, when I had the funds, or like if you don't have the funds, like I said, like maybe a walk in the park, or something that doesn't require money.
Okay.
So I just, like I said, I just journal. I did like, campus activities where they had like, with different sorority or fraternity they had like on campus where you can like go to, their little event or gathering. That's like, something you can do.
Hmm.
Yeah. That was basically it for me.
Now you're about to start grad school. What do you anticipate any challenges? Are you ready? Do you feel nervous? Are you like excited? Like, is it all these feelings balled up in one?
I'm excited, but I know like getting my master on the journey of getting my master with me being like a mother, I have to figure out how I'm able to like maintain taking care of my son, but also get my work did. I'm also kind of nervous about like is the materials going to be hard for me to like understand, gain knowledge of, but I mean if I have to along the way to ask for some type of assistance or help, I'm open to it. But I'm nervous a little bit, but I'm excited.
Yeah, I think nervous is normal with anything new, anything different, but it's also exciting, and I can't wait to see you, see you walk through this journey and finally, achieve that degree that you're looking for. Um,
Yes, ma'am.
the purpose of this interview, this video, is was basically to get some answers because there's a few students who call and ask questions, email, and I wanted them to, get an idea as to what it's like and if they face any challenges. But I do agree with you that support is a big aspect of, grad school, having that support, whether it's friends, family, someone to talk to, and if possible, even, getting a therapist if you can, and your insurance, pays for it or anything. They have resources. Seek support. Okay, if someone was questioning whether to stay in social work or why choose social work, what would you say? Why should I go to social work school? Why should I choose social work? What would you say?
I would say to them, first you have to have like, a passion for, whatever you go, like whatever career field you go into. So if they have, passion for becoming a social worker, I would advise them. But one thing I noticed, like, even pursuing my undergrad degree,
Hmm.
I mean, like you say, social work is like a broad, career field. You can choose like any part you want to go into, but it's people out here who need like help, like within the therapist field. It's someone out here looking for someone to talk to, and confidence about their situation. I thought about like it's some kids or like older adults who are being abused or neglected who need assistance, and it's not like a lot of social worker like in like rural areas to give those individuals the proper like help they need. So if anyone interested in going into the field of social work, like I said, you just have to have passion for the field of social work.
Okay,
Okay.
we're in Mental Health Month. This is Mental Health Month. We're ending the month of May, which is known for Mental Health Month. What would you say to students, grad or undergrad, any student who's going to school? What would you advise them, or any kind of feedback? What can you tell them about mental health?
I would tell them mental health is very important. Seek some type of support. Whether that's friends, family, counselor, therapist, whomever you have within your corner. I would say seek support. If you have to like journal or do some self-care activities to maintain your mental health, I would even advise that. But just talking to someone or doing some self-care activities, is very important to maintain a good mental health while in college. So that would be my advice.
Okay. Now, one last question. What is it like working with me?
It's awesome. It's been an awesome experience working with
You
you
don't have to
because
say that because I'm here. It's fine. I can handle it. I can handle it.
no, like I'm serious. It's been an awesome experience working with you because I would say when I did my first intern, with my undergrad, I didn't get a lot of hands-on experience. And like working with you, I'm able to get like hands-on experience to get a better understanding of like what social work is about. Like like what all you guys have to do within your job. So it's been an awesome experience because I'm able to just get hands-on experience, but also to gain knowledge like from you and just in social work in general. So
Well, thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for, providing all this feedback and taking time to answer these questions. Tanya again is a social work intern. She is one of the best. Like I cannot. I don't know. I don't know if if I could duplicate her. I definitely will. She's just awesome. She's right on task. She does. She gets to work right away. She's like, I don't even know how to. She's like a superwoman for me. I don't know how to do without her. She definitely helps me a lot, and I really wish that every social worker would have those qualities that you have in you. You're very efficient, and I appreciate you. I just wanted you to know that. Thank you once again.
thank
Mental
you.
health is very important, of course. If your mental health is part of your physical system. So if your mental health is out of balance, then you cannot function. Like it's just so that's something to really take seriously. Seek therapy, utilize your support system, engage in self-care, take time off, whatever you need to do. Focus on you and your health. Your mental health is very important, so please remember that. Go, and you can do this. You have had other challenges in your life that you've tackled, that you're very resilient. You're resilient more than what you could possibly imagine. Just think of it. That's actually how I manage stress. I remind myself of moments when I had some serious challenges, but I beat it. I was able to come and tackle it and heal from it. So you can do it. I mean, you heard Latanya say it during our interview. So I think I am the best, and if not the best, I'm close to it. And that is my perspective. Who cares what anybody else think? Do you? Just kidding. You are going to be awesome. You're going to do great. You would not be accepted or be in the school if you could not do it. There's a reason why you're there. Just remember that. And I wish you best of luck. If you have any challenges, any questions, you want to reach out, comment below, shoot me an email, whatever you want to do. Enjoy the rest of your week. There you have it. Latanya has answered the questions, and if you have any additional questions, please, I encourage you to comment below. I will answer your question to the best of my ability. I get to my questions as soon as I can. And I wish you the best of luck during grad school. It's the summer. I know some of you are taking summer classes, some are not. Enjoy and be safe out there. Thanks for watching. Ciao.